Brian Windhorst. Hey. Last night, Zion Williamson went 22, 12, and 10 with the second triple-double of his career, second in 2 weeks after the Pels defeated the Clippers 127-120. Windy, do you feel like Zion's at the top of his game right now?
And he says he is, Molly. And if you know, he had a hamstring injury for the third straight season. The Pelican season went off the rails. He missed 24 games. Since he's come back in January, their season has been lost, but he has routinely put up strong performance after strong performance. He's averaging 25, 7, and 5 on 60% shooting in those games, despite they're holding him under 30 minutes. Those are numbers in reduced minutes for a good reason. The Pelicans are still losing most of those games. They're 7 and 14 in games he's played since he came back. But according to our Mike Wright, who covers that division, he's down to 265 pounds. That's 20 pounds lower than his listed weight. That's the weight he was at when he came in from Duke. So, look, I don't know whether you can count on him at all because he hasn't been able to stay healthy. But he deserves credit for the condition he's in and the way he's been playing for this last 2 months.
He deserves a boatload of credit, and I'm here to give it to him. To be 20 pounds under his playing weight at 265 is a testament to a level of dedication he is showing that, quite frankly, he hasn't shown in the past, according to everybody close to him, as well as the Pelicans organization. He's averaging 24.4 points on 56% shooting, career high 7.3 rebounds, career high 5.3 assists. All right? But here's the two things that we have to pay attention to. He's missed 38 of 65 games. He's never played more than 5 straight games this season. And the Pelicans are 17 and 48. So what does this come down to? Even though you're a superstar caliber talent, you're not a superstar because you're almost never available. And as a result, because of that, instead of looking at his greatness and having an appreciation for it and marveling at him being on the basketball court, instead, what we're saying to ourselves is, what kind of impact can you really, really have? You might be considered a bust, not because of your talent, because clearly you're a superstar caliber talent. It's because of the availability due to a lack of durability. And there's no way around that. So you're the Pelicans right now. You drafted this guy, the #1 overall pick. Everybody understands why. Ja Morant has had his troubles on the court, off the court, whatever. And it is clear that he was the guy that is the better pick at this particular juncture in his career than even the great Zion Williamson. Because for all of his troubles, Ja Morant, you can rely on him. And that hasn't been the case for Zion, and that's a problem.
All right. SGA in the Western Conference leading Thunder take on Jason Tatum in the Celtics, 7:30 Eastern. The Nikola Jokic in the Nuggets host Anthony Edwards in the Timberwolves versus Boston, a finals preview.
I think the Celtics will be there. I would take the field in the West, so I would say no.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to stick with what I said a couple minutes ago. Brian and Stevie can fight me off. I think it's going to be very, very hard to win 6 postseason games and then get to the final. You got to win 6 more. I think there's a space in between where you got to gain some experience. Just to get to a conference final would be an achievement enough. And I think when push comes to shove, I don't trust them in the last 5 minutes of a huge playoff game on the road to get a big basket when they have to get the big basket. They didn't do it last year against Dallas. And I don't trust them to do that when seasons are on the line.
Yeah.
And everybody's focused. I don't trust them. So I will say somebody else in the West besides the Celtics.
Wendy?
So, Molly, this is my pick, but I'm not pounding the table. I think this is there is openings for other teams. I think there's 5 or 6 teams that can get to the finals. That's more than it is in most years. And I think tonight is actually a fair way to look at the Thunder. Now, if you believe what Mad Dog just said, that they can't get baskets under pressure, you could be right about that, Mad Dog. I can't guarantee it. Watch what happens tonight, because Jalen Williams is out, and if the Thunder have a weakness, it's that they're too reliant offensively on Shea. They play heavy isolation basketball. They rely on him a lot to create a lot of their offense. They're the number 4 offense in the league. That's awesome. That's why they've got 50-some wins already. But they're 27th in assist rate. Basically, they give the ball to him and let him create it. Let him get to the line. Let him create his mid-range shots. They don't move the ball around. They don't have anybody in their core rotation that shoots over 40% from 3. And so when Jalen Williams isn't there, the game plan is simple. You force the ball out of Shea's hands. That's what happened Monday night when Williams got hurt. He didn't play in the second half. the Nuggets double-teamed Shea and said somebody else is going to beat us. And it's possible in a playoff setting that Jalen Williams isn't a reliable enough player. And that's what they were talking about yesterday with you, Stephen A., at Gill's operation. That's a reasonable argument. And tonight is a great opportunity for the Thunder to prove that they're more than their limited offense has shown at times this season.
I totally believe in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's a superstar, and if things continue on the trend that it's in, regardless of what Gil's Arena says, mad respect to them, I'm going with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as my MVP, so long as things don't change in terms of the trajectory he's on compared to Nikola Jokic, who obviously is number 2 in the mix. Let's not forget that Jason Tatum deserves consideration as well, considering the way that he's performed, along with Donovan Mitchell, the best player on the best team in the NBA. I think they made that valid point yesterday. I completely agree with them. Having said all of that, my attitude is this. Boston is the reigning defending NBA champions. They should be the favorites to win it all. Again, they are my favorites. I think that in order for them to beat Cleveland, however, even though the Boston Celtics are an elite road team, I see Cleveland, if they were to get to a 7th game, beating Boston in the NBA Finals. Therefore, Boston would have to take them out in 6 games in order to get to the NBA Finals. I think that Boston versus OKC should be the favorite. I'd give that about a 60% chance. The 40% chance that I would throw is Cleveland versus the LA Lakers. I think the way that we've seen LeBron James perform, and we all know at this particular moment in time, I have no interest in throwing any love towards LeBron James' way, but I am an objective viewer, and I am going to be fair. We see the way that LeBron James has been balling. We see the way that Luka Doncic could potentially come on strong. With the way J.J. Redick and his coaching staff has held these dudes accountable, I think that the Los Angeles Lakers, healthy, have the potential to come out the West. I don't give them a better chance than OKC, but it would not surprise me at all, Wendy. I'm giving a 40% shot to Cleveland versus L.A. I'm giving a 60% shot to Boston versus OKC. That's where I'm at with it.
And I'm giving some percentage, 20-ish, to Denver, because of my respect for Nikola Jokic. And I know that they are thin. I know that things got to fall right for them. I have a big belief in Jokic.
That's why I don't. That's why I don't, because they're thin. That's the only reason. Not because of Jokic, not because of even Jamal Murray. They're just a bit thin. I don't trust their depth, and that's why I haven't picked Denver.
All right.
Yeah, but there's a lot going for these teams that we're going to see tonight, Molly. There's a lot of reasons to watch this game.
I want to try to post at what I look like. I'm gonna try to wear, pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here,